good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's an international call as always. Today's Saturday's training, we've got something that is a very important subject that you really need to get your head around. It's very important, particularly if you're strategizing with regard to building the business and knowing what you need to do for your teams to qualify for your next advancement, that kind of thing. But before we start, just a bit of housekeeping. Those of you that have made withdrawals this week may have noticed that your withdrawal has gone to fail. This is a payment processor glitch. It's the new payment processor they've just launched. For those of you that are familiar or unfamiliar with business situations, something this complex is bound to have issues like this initially. I was joking with my leaders on a call just the other day that it'd be so lovely if something like this could be launched without glitches, but you've got two hopes, Bob hope and no hope. It's always going to happen. You're always going to have little glitches along the way. So if you have got a failed notice, and for example, I've got a failed notice on my own withdrawal, don't worry about it, just leave it. The company is aware of it and they will address it. The system will spot that and you will get paid. Wascar sent out a message. So I'm just leaving mine and they'll get it sorted out hopefully today or in the next few days. So just so you're aware of that, and obviously let your teams know as well. So there as well, but they don't want to cancel and then resubmit, because that'll then put them back to the end of the queue, as it were. So today's training. Okay, so today we're going to be covering, as I say, a very important topic. It's understanding the leadership points and how they work. A lot of people really don't understand what they are and what they mean to your business, but they are vitally important, both from advancing through the plan, but also for your income. Ray is going to be covering that today. So those of you that don't know Ray is a very successful traditional businessman. He runs a multi-million-pound software company. He has been involved in network marketing for 37 years, something like 38 years. So he started when he was about 2 years old. He has been very successful in that industry. He's been the #1 income earner with 3 companies, and he's currently a #1 income earner with another company, which he's put to one side. He's been with that company for, I think, 15 years, something like that. Has never looked at anything else, or nothing else has interested him until CFX came along. But when he was shown CFX, he saw straight away how different, how special this business is. So he made an amazing decision to leave his current business as is. He's still earning money from that business, but he's not approaching anyone in that business. But he is focusing 100% on CFX, building from scratch. He's already director. He's pushing hard to go president. So watch this space in the coming months. Anyone that knows Ray, he is a human dynamo. I can't believe the amount of stuff that he gets done in a day. He's absolutely into absolutely everything. I love working with him because he makes me look good. His knowledge and skills, anything to do with technology is first class. But anyway, his experience will show here, and he will give us, as always, a very good training session. So over to you, Ray.
Thank you, Richard, for that incredible introduction. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's always a pleasure working with you, as you know. And thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to this morning's training. And this is a topic that we have discussed before, the leadership points, how these work and how to use them. And now, even now within my team, a year on in the business, I'm still covering this on a regular basis with my team, and particularly new team members that come in, because I feel that the understanding of the leadership points is actually one of the key areas of business, or understanding the CashFX business. And once you understand the power and the mechanics of the leadership points, you'll begin to, I think, change the focus of how you build your CashFX business and how you drive it forward. So let's move right along and start by saying that most people who join a business like CashFX join because they see it simply as a way to solve an immediate problem. And that immediate problem that they're looking to solve is the lack of money. And we call that in business, we call that negative cash flow. Most people in their lives have a negative cash flow. If you look at, the working classes, for example, they go out to work every week, they earn a pay packet, and they come home and by, the end of the month, they get their pay packet, and by the first week of the following month, most of it's gone, or pretty much all of it's gone. Or they're living on credit, negative cash flow. In other words, they've got more money going out than they've got coming in. And so some people who join a business like CashFX, they'll put their last £200, $300 into CashFX, and they'll view it as a financial life raft, and view it as a way of solving their immediate problem. And that is not a good way to look at it. And because people don't approach a business like ours as a proper business, they never adopt a proper business mentality towards it. And the result of that is that they live in hope, as opposed to working the business. If you listen to the words that every leader in the business uses in reference to their business, you'll be very hard pressed to find a leader talking about hope. We don't deal in hope. We deal in action and plans, and we make plans for the business, and we carry out actions to execute those plans. So it's imperative that you treat your CashFX business as exactly that. Treat it as a business, not as a financial life raft, not as a solution to your immediate problems. Richard mentioned I've got a software company. When my business partner and I started that company, we both agreed that over the first 3 years, we were going to put in not only an immense amount of time, but an immense amount of money as well to get it going. It certainly was a lot more than $300, I can tell you that. And we committed to that. And we knew that we'd have to do that for 3 years, really, before we made any money or even looked at getting our money back. So we treated it as a business from the get-go. And it's the same here with CashFX. In other words, you need to be business-minded. You need to make a plan and stick to it. Many people in my team know that when I joined CashFX, I looked at it and I sat down within the first month. I sat down and I wrote down a 3-year plan. So I broke that 3-year plan down into 12-month segments. And within each 12-month segment, I have 3 primary objectives and 6 sub-primary objectives. Okay. And so my first 12 months was all about achieving those 3 primary objectives. And I'll tell you what they were, is that I wanted to be earning $20,000 a month by the end of year 1. I wanted a team of 2,500 people, and I wanted to be a director. I made director in 6 months, and I completed my 12-month plan by the end of November, and I joined in April. So you work out the math. It was 6 or 7 months, I don't know, which means I was ahead of the plan going into my phase 2, my second stage. So you make a plan, you write it down, you lay it out, you put it on the wall, and you say, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a business plan and I'm going to stick to it. I'm being business minded, okay? And I'll sort out my personal finances elsewhere. When you run a normal business, inverted commas, you need to consider many things. You need to consider, for example, money coming in. That's the sales of your business, okay? And those are probably the most important thing. Without sales, you really don't have a business. Then you need to consider money out. In other words, what are the overheads and what are the costs of your business? You need to think about profit and loss. Are you making enough money to cover, do you have enough money coming in to cover the money going out and leave some for you? That's very important. Are you making enough money? Cash flow. Many people don't understand cash flow. And cash flow is, do you have enough money today to pay the bills of today, tomorrow, and this month? And will you have enough money coming in? Do you guarantee that you have enough money coming in to continue forward, to keep the flow of the business going, your cash flow, the rate at which your money is coming in, and going out is very, very important. And that is all encompassed in cash flow. In other words, can you survive and can you grow? Because cash flow is king. In any business, cash flow is the oxygen that your business needs to survive. Okay, you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Cash flow is king. So cash flow is the inflow of money versus the outflow of money from your business. Okay, cash flow isn't about the money you've just got coming in. Cash flow is the money going in and the money going out. It's those two things combined, and it is king. It is above everything else. If you have no cash flow, you probably won't have a business for more than 5 minutes. Okay, cash flow is it. So there are two types of cash flow. There is positive cash flow. That is where the future inflow of money is greater than the future outflow of money. So for example, if you look ahead 7 days and you've got $10,000 coming in, but you've only got $1,000 going out, that's positive cash flow. Okay. And if you then talk about the other type, which is negative cash flow, that's where the future inflow of money is less than the future outflow of money in your business. So for example, if you look ahead 7 days and you can see that you've got $10,000 coming in, but that you've got to pay $20,000 out in costs and expenditures, then you are in negative cash flow. And that's not a good place to be in, okay? So in positive cash flow, your money in is always going to be greater over time than your money out. And the space between these 2 points is your profit, your margin, as we call it, before tax. Okay, that's your margin, effectively, your profit. Okay. Negative cash flow is the inverse of that. It's the money coming in is less than the money going out. So what you would have here is a loss instead of a profit. Okay, so you can run a business making a loss, but you won't be running a business making a loss for long. All right, so positive cash flow, negative cash flow. And the truth is that many people live their lives in negative cash flow. And so they treat their online business, their CashFX business, like a piggy bank. And they keep raiding it, okay? They keep raiding that piggy bank. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because your CashFX business is not a piggy bank. It's a business. And you need to nurture it and grow it and build it until it's grown up an adult and starts to take care of you, starts to pay rent, if you like. You know, it goes through being a baby where you have to feed it and change its nappy. And it becomes a child where you have to educate it. Then it becomes a truculent teenager that argues with you all the time. And eventually it becomes a sober and respectful adult that pays you money every month to live in your house. It's a bit like that. And the problem is that people keep treating it like a piggy bank. And what this does is it creates more negative cash flow. And Richard talks about this all the time, and he's absolutely right. They end up killing the golden goose. Okay? And cash flow in CashFX is your golden goose. Now, I'm going to relate a quick story of something that happened a couple of weeks ago with one of my team members. I'm not going to mention the person's name. And what happened is that he didn't understand this cash flow thing. And he kept letting his packs get to 193, 194%. And he began to see that that's a dangerous practice, because what he wasn't doing is he wasn't setting the money aside first to go to the next pack. So when he got to 199%, he'd spent all the money, but he now needed to upgrade for fear of capping out, and he didn't have the money. And so that person had to borrow some money from somebody to stay in the game, which created a really bad negative cash flow situation, because now he not only had to recover his pack situation, he had to pay somebody back. Okay. and we worked it through, we sorted it out, and he's now really learned the lesson about not taking the money out of the pack and killing the golden goose. Yes, you can take money out of the packs, of course you can. My method is, if I'm on a pack, and let's say I'm on a 7,000 pack and I need to get to a 10,000 pack, I save $10,000 from my $7,000 pack first, and I put that aside so that I've then got the money to go to the next pack. Then what's left, as I go towards 150, 140% on usage of the pack, then what's left is money that I can take for myself. So save first, save the money for your next upgrade first. You'll never have a problem going up to that pack. All right. Don't kill the golden goose. Richard does a great presentation on this. You should not kill the golden goose. And the reason that people do this is because money's a dog. And people chase money. They chase money in life. They chase money in business. And they chase money in cash FX. Okay. Because people come into cash FX thinking that the money is the be all and end all of everything. It's not. And you're going to find out why shortly. Money's like a dog. The more you chase money in life, have you ever noticed how you try and earn money, try and earn money, try and earn money, try and earn money, and the more you try and earn money, the less it seems to happen. It's because you're chasing money. Okay, the more you chase money, it will run away from you. Business owners don't chase money. They're not focused on the money. When Barry and I built my business, we didn't focus on the money. We focused on building the best product we could build to service the need that we were trying to service in our industry. And we built that product. We built that product over 6 years. And it's a fabulous product. It's the best product in the marketplace for what it does. I'm not biased, but it just is. And that was our focus. We knew that if we did that thing right, the money would take care of itself, and the money has taken care of itself. We're the #1 product in our sector for what we do. And we have 130,000 people a day using our product. Okay. We didn't focus on the money. We focused on the product, get it right, get it done, get it built correctly, structure it, put team in, focus on that. The money takes care of itself. So don't chase the money. So the question then is, well, if you're not supposed to focus on the money in cash FX, what are you supposed to focus on? Well, the answer to that question is leadership points. Okay. And leadership points for me are the be all and end all of my business. You talk to anyone in my team and ask them if I've talked to them about leadership points. The answer will be yes, because I bang on about this all the time to my team. I do trainings on it, and I focus my team into building points, not money. All right. And fundamentally, the more points you have, the more money you will have. The more points you have, the more money you will have. Okay, I'm going to go expand on that, but I just want to let that sink in. The more points you have, the more money you have. The more points you have, the more money you will have. All right. Ask any leader in cash FX what they spend most of their time looking at in the back office, and the answer will inevitably be leadership points. Richard and I have discussions all the time about leadership. And inevitably, when we have those discussions, we end up looking at leadership points, seeing where everyone is, calculating points, looking at points, seeing what we've got to do with points to get us where we need to be and to get everyone else where they need to be so that we can be where we need to be. We don't talk about money. Money doesn't come into those conversations. The only thing that comes into those conversations is leadership points. Points are the real money in cash FX. Let that sink in. Points are the real money in cash FX. All right. Let me show you why. Well, every time a pack is purchased or upgraded in your team, you're going to earn some points. And the volume of the points that you earn is equal to 50% of the price of the pack, the renewal, the upgrade, whatever it is, whatever the financial money is. then the points are 50% of that. If somebody buys a $300 pack, you know, the points are 50% of that particular pack. All right. So, for example, if somebody purchases a new pack at $300, the price of the pack is $300. So you, as the introducer, will see 150 points arriving on your points balance. And everyone above you will see 150 points arriving on their points balance. Now, the interesting thing about points is there's no levels or limits on the points. If today somebody joined on my level 32 in my business on a $300 pack, then 150 points would get added to my points balance. Okay, so points are equivalent to 50% of the pack value. For example, in an upgrade, if somebody wanted to upgrade from $300 to $500 pack, then $500 minus $300, which is the pack they're already on. So the pack they're going to minus the value of the pack they're already on is $200. So they would pay $200 to upgrade. Therefore, the financial transaction is $200. That would generate 100 points for you, 50% of the financial transaction. So every time a pack is purchased anywhere in your team, down all levels to infinity, you will earn some points. And these will be added to your leadership points balance on a daily basis. Okay. Now, when these points are added, you can count those as inflow. All right. Effectively, that's money coming in, points coming in, inflow. Every time points are added to your leadership points balance, they'll stay on that points balance. I'm going to go into this in a bit of detail in a minute. They'll stay on that points balance for 30 days, and then they'll be deducted. So, for example, if I sign somebody up today, or somebody joins in my team today for $300, I'll get 150 points. And today is the 20th of March. On the 20th of April, those points will be deducted from my points balance. They'll disappear. The points last 30 days. Okay. And therefore, when the points are deducted, that's outflow. Okay. So we have an inflow of points and an outflow of points. An inflow of points when somebody buys a pack and uses your upgrades, and an outflow of the same points 30 days later. So if today my points totaled 10,000 points that I earned in my team today, 30 days from now, on the 20th of April, 10,000 points will come off my balance of my points. All right. That's how that works. So how do you earn points? Well, $1,000 pack equals 500 points. Let's say these are added 26th of September. Those will be deleted 30 days later. So this is a 30-day rolling period. Okay, 30-day rolling period. So the points added today, 20th of March, come off 20th of April. The points added tomorrow, 21st of March, come off 21st of April. So it's always a rolling 30-day cycle. All right. So treat the points in your CashFX business as the cash flow. Points in, points out, cash flow. Remember what I said, the more points you have, the more money you have, the more points you have, the more money you will have. Points in, points out. So if you're bringing more points in than are going out, you've got positive cash flow. If you've got more points going out than coming in, you've got negative cash flow. All right. And you can have cash flow, positive or negative cash flow on a daily, monthly, weekly, quarterly, annual basis. Depends how you want to view it. Don't focus on the money. Don't focus on the money that CashFX generates as your cash flow. It's the points. This is the key phrase in all this. The points will predict your future income. The money will not. Because here's the thing. When the money gets paid to you and you receive it, it's gone. When the points come in and tomorrow's points come in and the day after points come in, you can start to look 30 days ahead and you can start to see where you're going to be. You're going to see that in a minute, because the points predict the future income of your business. So you can use these points to start thinking about where you're going to be 30 days down the road. So if you look at a 30-day rolling period and you're building a team, okay, you're going to have more points coming in than going out. So you know that at the end of that 30-day period, you should be in a better position. However, if you stop building a team, then after 30 days, those points are all going to come off, okay? So the points being deducted is going to be greater than the points coming in, and you're going to be in negative points cash flow, all right? And that means your business will decline. It's as simple as that. So the trick is keep building points, keep introducing new members, keep helping people do upgrades, keep helping people do renewals, stop people capping out. These are all things that build points. Team building builds points. Don't focus on the money. Money will take care of itself. Focus on the team building. And this is so, so important. Tracking your points on a daily basis. I underline that word daily. I track my points almost on an hourly basis. I'm always in there. I'm always looking to see what I can do. But tracking your points on a daily basis is key to understanding where your CashFX business is heading. First thing I do when I get up in the morning, before I look at the money, before I look at my emails, before I look at my Telegram messages, the very first thing I do is I go to my back office, I go to my leadership points, and I go and see how many points are coming off my balance today, because that tells me what I need to do today. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. So here we go. We're going to do a little live demo of the points, just so that you see it in real time. So this is what I do. First thing in the morning when I come into my CashFX business, I don't go look at the money. I don't go look at anything else. All I do is I click on networks and I click on leadership program. And this is where I get my daily news on my CashFX business. So the first thing you see is the information panel about you. The first thing you look at is 2 dials and a lot of numbers. It may be confusing to you at first when you look at this, but I'm going to break it down for you. Basically, the dial on the left works like this. The outside dial is the amount of points that you earned in the previous month. So we're in March, and as you can see, I earned 518,000 points in February. Now remember, the points are exactly half of the money in your business. So what that means is that in February, my team and I, we turned over $1.3 million in sales. So the value of all the packs that were purchased, the value of all the upgrades, the value of all the renewals, it totaled over $1 million last month in my team. And the points tell me that. So all I got to do is times that by 2, that gives me the cash value of my business. Already this month, we're only on the 20th of March, and already I've earned 447,000 points this month. So the object of the exercise for me in the month is to close this circle so that it's closed. And as you can see, I'm actually well on my way. I've got another 10 days left in March. I'm well on my way to beating this. Now, if I can make this in March bigger than this amount in February, then my cash flow points for March are bigger than my cash flow points for February. So I have positive cash flow in my business. This figure here tells me how many points are going to be deducted from my business today. So this is where I start to understand what I've got to do. I know today that 21,500 points are going to be deducted from my business. And I know that so far, I've only added 1,550 points in my team. So again, the object of the exercise on this green dial is to close this green dial by the end of the day. In other words, what I want to do is I want to get this figure bigger than this figure by the end of the day. So how do I do that? Well, I put my foot on the accelerator and I start working with my team and I start helping them do more upgrades, increase sales, bring new people in, do three-way calls with them, do sign-up calls with them, get stuck in, okay? And all of that activity, another key word in Richard's vocabulary, activity, all of that activity will generate points for me. And my mission will be today to make sure that with my team, I make this figure bigger than this figure. And if I can make this figure bigger than that figure, that means today I've got positive cash flow. And then if I can make that figure bigger than that figure, in this month, I've got positive cash flow. And the mission is to close all the rings. Okay. If you can close the rings on a daily and monthly basis, and you can keep this ring completely green and closed, your business is in positive cash flow. It means your business is growing month on month on month. And that's all you want. You just want positive cash flow. Okay. So you remember I said points predict future income. So how does it do that? Well, if you look at this button over here, it says check your last 30 days points. So I'm going to click that. Many people don't know this is here. Okay. So you can see that yesterday I lost 12,900 points. However, yesterday I ended the day with over 25,000 points inbound. So I had 12,900 go out, 25,400 and something come in. So yesterday my business was in positive cash flow. I guarantee by the end of this day, my business will be in positive cash flow because I've got 21,000 points going out, but I will have, I guarantee, over 20,000 points, 21,000 points coming in. But bear in mind, yesterday, I had double the amount of points coming in than went out. So I've got a bit of a buffer zone from yesterday, effectively, that I can pull over onto today's points. The system doesn't show you that, but that's what happens in reality. So today I'm going to lose 21,500 points. Tomorrow I'm going to lose 28,000 points. The day after I'm going to lose another 12,900. The day after I'm going to lose 11,000, 17,000, 9, 9, 7. So I can begin to see the road ahead. I can begin to see where big points are going to come off and where low points are going to come off. Okay. And based upon that, I can plan. I can go, okay, I can see that here I've got 20, 30, 70,000, 80,000 points coming off in those, for 100,000 points coming off in those 5 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to work really hard to build up a buffer of 100,000 points so that when those points come in, I don't really feel it. I'm still staying positive cash flow. Okay. So you can see that the points that have gone on today so far are going to come off. These are the points that are going to come off in 30 days time. So yesterday I added 42,500 points to my business. The day before 39,000, the day before 25,000, the day before 15,000, the day before 18, 24, 28, 27, 30. So these were the points I'm adding. Now, as these points rise to the top, they're coming closer to the point where they're going to come off. Okay. So the points you make today are at the bottom. The points that are coming off today are at the top. Okay. So as the points rise, they're getting closer to that point where they're going to come off. So using this, you can see quite clearly, you can see the next 30 days ahead in your business. You can see what the road looks like. Is the road got some big bumps in it, or is the road pretty smooth? And are you going uphill or are you going downhill in terms of your cash flow? You can see what you've got to do. I'll show you how I treat it like a GPS. This is my destination. This is where I am now, and I need to get past this destination and further. This is my map. This tells me how to do it. This tells me where I should go. Okay. And so the analogy of a GPS is quite good. And I think this is the GPS for your CashFX business. So learn to love this particular section, and it will take care of you in a big way. Once you understand that the activity in your business from you and your team creates these points, you'll start having a more team-centric mentality. You'll start helping your team build big points, because if your team is building big points every day, guess what happens? There have been many days in my business, and Richard, I'm sure, will be the same, where, you know, I've got up in the morning and I've had 30,000 points coming off, and then I've had to go and attend to my software company for the day, and I come back and I've got 40,000 points that have come in. And yet I haven't been in front of my CashFX business or my computer all day, because the team is generating the points, okay? Because my team understand what they've got to do. My team understand they have to generate points, and it's the points that make the business. Just as a quick recap, treat your CashFX business as a business. Don't have piggy bank mentality. Don't keep smashing the piggy bank, raiding the jar so you can pay your bills. Imagine if you didn't have CashFX. You'd still have to find the money for the bills, wouldn't you? You'd still have to find the money for the mortgage, wouldn't you? So if you can do it without CashFX, why would you raid your CashFX business and make that suffer and decline when you could actually find that money without CashFX? Don't have that piggy bank mentality. Don't kill the golden goose, as Richard says. He's absolutely right. Thirdly, don't chase the money. Don't chase the money. Chase the points. Build a team. Teach your team how to chase the points, okay? Because the points equal the cash flow in your business. And if you keep your cash flow positive all times, you will have a great business. You'll have a staggeringly great business. Get your leadership points every day. And as you grow as a leader, you know, like Richard and I and many other leaders in the business, Hazel, Brian Chittick, we all look to our leadership points. And above all, plan ahead. Use those leadership points as a way for you to plan that road ahead. You can see what's coming. Some modern cars like mine, they have this system in them where they scan the road ahead and they can see the bumps and they can time it so that they smooth the bump out when the car hits it. My car has this feature. And that's what the roadmap does for you. That's what the points does for you. It gives you that forward scanning radar to see the road ahead, to see where the bumps are, so that you can plan and make that nice and smooth and keep going up and up and up and up and up and up until you're, you know, where Richard is and where many other leaders in this company are. Okay, I hope that's been useful to you. I'm sure you've got lots of questions. I would encourage you to get back to your nearest director, president, or local friendly ambassador. That's him on the screen there. And I thank you for your time, and I'm going to hand it back to Richard.
Thanks, Ray. Brilliant training as always. You know, that training there was amazing because it gives you such detail on everything you need to know about the points. And as Ray says, they are really the lifeblood of the business. You can see how your business is going. For example, you'll notice over the Christmas period, for example, you'll see your points dropping back down. And then as we come out into January, you'll see them coming back up again. So it's sort of basically a health check on your business and the way it's going. And of course, when you're setting your goals and that kind of thing, you need to focus on the points to advance up to the next level. And by the way, someone actually did ask me a question, sent me a message whilst we were on the call regarding he had just advanced to manager, so well done for doing that. But he noticed that even though he'd received or got the points, that he hadn't actually gone manager yet. And just so you're aware, this may happen to yourself as you advance, that you'll find that it's simply because there was a cascade process. You imagine the millions of people in, or hundreds of thousands of people in CFX, and it has to go through each individual one and stack it all up and everything else. So it's got to figure it all out before it can actually give you that advancement rank. So, you know, if you're an executive, it should happen pretty quickly. If you're a manager, it's going to take a little bit longer. For example, when I went ambassador, it literally took 48 hours for the system to catch up because it had to go through all this intricate process. So don't worry if you think that you've advanced and you don't see it straight away. That's simply because it's a cascading process and the system will catch up as we move forward. One thing I would also add, just to raise comments regarding don't kill the golden goose. It is okay to take money out of the business. Really important to stress that. For example, I wanted to get to the 100K pack as quickly as I possibly could, but I still took money out of the business. So in fact, I used actually leadership bonuses and other things as well to aid that. But I think over the first 8 months I was in the business, I withdrew a sort of a salary of £30,000. So it's okay to take a salary from the business, you know, any business that you do that. But the key thing is not to take too much. Just make sure that you're not taking too much, that you don't have enough money when you need to upgrade or whatever, you know, to be able to do that. So absolutely fine to do that. And at the beginning of the call, by the way, I did mention that if you see, if you made a withdrawal this week and you're seeing that it's failed, you should leave it. Well, I've literally just received a message saying that my withdrawal was showing as failed. I've just received a message saying that it's gone through. So as Wascos says, you know, they are aware of the issue. The system will be addressing it. This is one of the great features of the new payment processor. Again, for those of you that missed my comments about the new payment processor last week, you know, this is a big deal that we've got this. The fact that, you know, the company has invested significant amounts of money into the project to have their own payment processor. And the reason the company's done this is because, imagine you go through a third-party company, and LifePay is a very reputable company. That's why they chose them. They've done a remarkably good job over the first 20 months of the business or so. But the fact is, if you're going through a third-party company, there's no guarantees that that company is going to be around long term. That company could flake. That company could decide they don't want to deal with CFX anymore. All these kinds of things can happen. And of course, if that happened, imagine no money in, no money out, full stop. The company would then have to go and find another payment processor. So it could be disastrous for the company. And there have been many companies in this industry over the years that have fallen foul of that. So again, CFX planning ahead. So by spending the money they have and the amount of time, I was talking to Ron Pope about it. He was saying they had 50 full-time engineers in the business, not just working on that, but working on CFX, which, as you can imagine, is a significant overhead for CFX. But he was telling me that this was not just a simple flick of a switch to get this payment processor in place. It was a very in-depth, very complicated process. And in fact, a few months ago, I was told that there was actually a roadblock they were worried that they might not be able to do it for whatever reason, but they've managed to do it, which is fantastic. But just like anything like this is a very, very complicated system, and therefore there are bound to be glitches as we move forward. So the advantages are huge, protects the business long term. We're going to see that payments will become faster. You'll see that money in is going to be easier with less challenges. And if there is a challenge, as you will have noticed, if there's a challenge currently or with the old system, because it has to be done manually by the team, it's a nightmare. It literally takes hours and hours and hours just to sort out one issue. With the new payment processor, they'll be able to sort these things out in a fraction of the time, which is, again, the game plan of the company to make sure it's streamlined. They're going to be beefing up the customer support team as well as we move forward. That process is already underway. So again, as we move forward, you're going to see things just get much, much, much better. But as I said, for now, this is brand new, so we're bound to get little glitches. And there is a glitch at the moment, the fact that for whatever reason, the system is showing up as failed. But don't do anything, just leave it, and you'll see that your payment comes through as mine has. So I think that's pretty well it. I think we've covered it today. So I hope you found that useful, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and looking forward to another very exciting week next week. All right, take care, guys.